contact.
Meant the title was Green Bay's. 31-25, the final score.
Green Bay will take over.
It's just a feeling of accomplishment right now, that we've accomplished our goals. We talked about it March 16th when we met for the first time, and here we are, the world champions.
It's a tough game, and there's probably a lot of what-ifs. There's a lot of throws I'd like to have back. Like I said, I don't put a blame on anybody except myself.
The Vince Lombardi Trophy, named of course after the legendary Packers coach, on its way home for the first time since 1997. Andy Richardson, Al Jazeera.
Robert Kubica's Formula One career is under threat after his right hand was partially severed in high-speed rally crash in Italy on Sunday. The Pole underwent a 7-hour surgery to try and save his hand. He also suffered multiple fractures to his right arm and leg following the accident. Andrew Potter reports.
Far away from the glamour of the Formula One circus, Robert Kubica was driving this rally car in a relatively minor event in Italy when he crashed. Reports suggest he lost control and hit a metal barrier, which was able to puncture the front of the car, leaving him with multiple fractures to his right arm, leg and hand. The 26-year-old was helicoptered to hospital, undergoing lengthy surgery.
I think it's quite difficult right now, but who never knows. Drivers are always very special patients. I had a lot of motorbiker patients. They heal in the fastest way possible, much faster than the normal people.
Kubica is Poland's first Formula One driver. In 2007, he was fortunate to escape this massive crash in Canada with minor injuries. He took his first win at the very same track a year later. The latest accident comes less than a week after Kubica helped unveil the Lotus Renault team's new car for the 2011 season.
You know, always there is special excitement to test it for the first time.
Kubica immediately putting the car to good use, going fastest in the first week of pre-season testing. This was the year many predicted he could challenge for the Formula One title. For now, it's unclear when or if he'll compete at the sport's highest level again. Andrew Potter, Al Jazeera.
FIFA President Sepp Blatter has strongly indicated the 2022 World Cup in Qatar will take place in the summer, despite previously suggesting it could be held in winter. Blatter had previously stated that he expects the games to move from their normal days of the summer because of the country's climate. He also said that all the 64 matches will be played in the territory of Qatar and not extended to their neighbouring countries. In the English Premier League, there was no winning debut for Fernando Torres as his former club Liverpool took the spoils with a 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge. All attention focused on Chelsea's new $80 million man, but Liverpool ensured they got no change. Raul Meireles with the goal that sees Liverpool up to 6th. While reigning champions Chelsea are now 10 points adrift of leaders Man United. And Birmingham jump out of the drop zone with their 1-0 over West Ham, who slipped to the bottom. In Spain, Cristiano Ronaldo fired Real Madrid to a 4-1 win over Real Sociedad to cut the gap on leaders Barca to 7 points. But it was Kaká who got his name on the score sheet first as he continues his return from injury. Then Ronaldo finally broke his 4-game goal-scoring drought. His powerful left footer putting Real 2 up. His second came from a well-directed header to draw him level in the Liga goal-scoring charts with Barca's star striker Lionel Messi. Despite Sociedad pulling a goal back, the home side closed out the game with Togolese striker Emmanuel Adebayor scoring his first goal for Real since joining on loan from Manchester City. Final score 4-1 to Real. The late game in Spain saw Valencia stay in the hunt for third automatic Champions League spot after beating Hercules 2-0. Goals from Odires Zubeldia and then Tino Costa sealed the points for the home side. The win puts them just 1 point behind Villarreal in third. Italian league leaders AC Milan have failed to take maximum points for a second consecutive game. Their 1-1 draw at Genoa allowed Napoli to cut the gap at the top to 3 points. Brazil's Alexander Pato put Milan ahead on the half-hour mark. But mid-table, Genoa were level just before the break. Antonio Flores, who's just signed on loan from Udinese, with the equaliser. Final score 1-1. Champions Inter Milan have moved up to third with the game in hand as they try to catch the leaders. Wesley Sneijder getting the first of Inter's 5 goals in just the 3rd minute. Roma hit right back for an equaliser before Samuel Eto'o added the second before half-time. Now the side were finished with 5 goals in the second half. Final score Inter 5, Roma 3. Elsewhere in Italy, Lazio missed a chance to pressure Milan with a 1-0 draw with Chievo. Palermo are hot on the heels of the top 4 following the thrilling 4-2 win at struggling Lecce. Brescia took the honours in the relegation battle with bottom side Bari, while Catania fall ever closer to the drop zone after losing at Bologna. The chief executive of the ICC believes the minimum 5-year bans handed out to 3 Pakistan cricketers sends a clear message that corruption won't be tolerated. Rahul Pathak reports from Doha.
The chaotic, almost jubilant scenes outside the Qatar Financial Centre on Saturday, in keeping with the widely held view that Salman Butt, Mohammed Amir and Mohammed Asif hadn't received the harsh punishment many were expecting. Butt was banned for 10 years with 5 years suspended. Asif was given a 7-year ban with 2 suspended, while Amir was banned for 5 years. Back home in Pakistan, the former Test captain vowed the fight was still not over.
We are disappointed with the decision. We do not agree with it. But the judge himself has said the law had not been made for this kind of event. So there is a need to amend the law.
Despite Butt's fighting words, the judgment does look likely to end his international career at 26 years of age. Also, the 28-year-old Mohammed Asif is unlikely to play for Pakistan again. But for the 18-year-old Mohammed Amir, his career is still very much in its infancy, and his lawyers say he'll continue to fight to clear his name. On Sunday, having had a day to digest the judgment, the ICC's chief executive insisted the process hadn't been a waste of time and money.
I think the fact that we've successfully convicted the 3 players based upon the evidence that we had collected, there's a sanction that's been meted out, and I think the message is loud and clear.
Well, the next big date for the trio is March the 17th, when all 3 will appear before a UK magistrate charged with accepting and obtaining corrupt payments. But as for the ICC, well, this was the first time, remember, that they themselves had prosecuted a corruption case. Did the punishment that was handed out on Saturday really send out the strong message that they were looking for? Well, it seems the jury is still very much out on that. Rahul Pathak, Al Jazeera, Doha.
Thomas Bjorn has won golf's Qatar Masters. The veteran player proved experience was more important than the youth on a windy final day, as Joanna Gajarowska reports.
Thank you. A decade ago, this man was in the world's top 10, and now Thomas Bjorn is on his way back up the rankings after winning the Qatar Masters. The Dane, who'd gone 4 years without a win before 2010, finally has something to smile about again. Bjorn went into the final round with a 1-stroke lead and quietly kept knocking in par after par until the 15th hole, where he set up his first birdie. Austria's Marcus Breer, who desperately needed the win to stay on tour, was 1 stroke behind and kept up the pressure, but couldn't overhaul Bjorn and eventually finished in 3rd. Defending champion Robert Karlsson started strongly, but fell behind after missing several important putts. Another former champion, Spain's Alvaro Quiros, set up a late charge for the title. But despite this brilliant approach to the 14th, a couple of bogeys towards the end of the round saw him fade into 2nd. While the rest of the field struggled in windy conditions, Bjorn ploughed ahead, setting up this birdie at the last. And the Dane putted in for a round of 69 to win by 4 strokes. The victory moves him from 134th in the world to inside the top 60.
It's nice to be moving in the right direction in the world rankings again. It's been a long time coming, and now I can start looking up and see that it's not impossible to get myself back off where I want to be. You know, it's been a long time since I was inside the top 20 in the world, and you know, fighting hard to get back there.
Well, it was a tough win in windy conditions here in Doha, but this victory is also Thomas Bjorn's 17th, and it comes just 2 weeks before his 40th birthday. Joanna Gajrowska, Al Jazeera, Doha.
Tennis, where Australian Open champion Kim Clijsters has secured Belgium's place in the semi-finals of the Fed Cup. Belgium were already 2-love up against the USA going into Sunday's reverse singles and needed just the one win for an unassailable lead. But Bethany Mattek-Sands wasn't going to give the three-time US champion an easy ride, taking the first set on a tiebreak. Clijsters, though, picked up the pace to close out the match 6-7, 6-2, 6-1. Belgium will play the Czech Republic